For the 2025-2026 financial year, the Ministry is allocated a total of 10.8 million, of which 8.4 million is for operational functions and 2.36 million for capital projects, particularly the completion of the Namboro landfill cell construction. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change is aware of the need to scale these capital projects such that it accommodates the need for other divisions where waste management continues to pose significant threats to the environment and human health. We have been working closely with the Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation to finalize the terms of reference for the construction of the Western and projects. Both projects are currently at the design stage, and the Ministry of Environment will play a key role in ensuring that these projects include water segregation and transfer stations, such that the perception of landfills is different to what we have in Namboro. This is critical because there are many untapped economic opportunities in such investments if designed with a full life cycle approach. This is not just about waste, it is about jobs, dignity, and lifting the standards of the next generation. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry is also mindful of the urgent need to rehabilitate the current dump sites, such as the one in Vunato and Singatoka, which remain an eyesore and pose significant health threats and risks to our community. In partnership with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization Environment Program, we will be co-designing a long-term solution for these dump sites. We are not just talking, we are doing. Mr. Speaker, sir, now we'll go into the specific of the operational increments. Program 1 includes safeties under General Administration and the Department of Environment Functions, which is with an overall increase of 1.47 million. Activity 1, General Administration, is allocated 2.02 million, with an increase of around 590,000 to account for the growing scope of the Ministry since it became a standalone portfolio in October 2023. This allocation ensures that the Ministry is properly staffed, equipped, and supported to deliver on its mandates, whether it is in relation to implementation of environmental regulation, operational oversights of climate risk management, or through the implementation of environment and climate change-related international treaties. Key increments under this activity include 80,000 for personnel emoluments to fund the appointment of additional administrative staff needed to support the newly established ministry, 100,000 for trash booms equipment, which are floating barriers that we've already proven effective places like Nambokolo Creek, where over 612 kg of waste have been collected since its installment in February this year. In the next financial year, trash booms will be installed in 3-liter hotspots along the Suva-Nosori corridor and Nandi. Mr. Speaker, sir, another critical investment under Activity 1 is the hosting of the 6th Asia-Pacific Environment Authorities Forum, AP6, which was approved by Cabinet in October last year. By hosting AP6, Fiji is not waiting to be spoken for. We are speaking for ourselves and for the Blue Pacific. We are convening, leading, and the benefits of hosting this forum far outweigh the marginal allocation of 146,000 in this budget. And I would like to thank the Government of Australia for US 300,000 grant to support with the cost related to this meeting. This is not just any meeting, but a historic first for the Pacific to become the first island country to host this prestigious gathering of environmental leaders from 41 countries across Asia and the Pacific region. This event will allow Fiji to chair critical high-level deliberations, influence decisions, and support our collective regional voice ahead of the 7th United Nations Environment Assembly, where major global decisions on climate and environment issues are debated and agreed upon. Activity 2 relates to the Environment Impact Assessment Unit, where additional 349,000 was allocated to support the Ministry with their monitoring and enforcement functions. Some of the major increases include 232,000 increase in personnel emoluments, which funds the recruitment of 4 additional environment officers. These new staff are responsible for conducting environment audits, site inspections, post-approval monitoring of developments. Last year alone, we received several complaints where developers were not complying with the environmental laws and lease conditions. This government is not afraid to enforce the law. Our communities are watching, and we will not fail them. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the 2024-23 officers in the EIA unit processed more than 1,300 EIA applications, including backlog of 378 files from January 2024. This demonstrates that we have the capabilities, but we need capacities to deliver these services to investment demands. We also need investors, both local and foreign, to equally respect the laws of Fiji and do their part. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have been doing the long hours to minimize the risk of delays, but it is clear that we must increase our capacity and buffer our team from the strain of increasing demand we face. In light of this, Mr. Speaker, sir, a further 95,000 is allocated and enforcement of EIA permits. This will help cover the cost involved in conducting field investigation, including in relation to development activities. Mr. Speaker, sir, overall, the duty to protect our fragile ecosystems, therefore, environmental laws must be adhered to such that the community land and community interests are protected from harmful impacts and economic benefits, and the growth do not come at an undue cost. Our people deserve that when someone invests, when a resort development proceeds, or a road is built, that has been properly assessed and approved, and will be monitored and ensured compliance over time. Make sure that happens. Mr. Speaker, sir, Activity 3 relates to the core functions of Waste Management and Pollution Control Unit, which has received an additional allocation of 216,000. This increase is both strategic and long overdue. One of the major initiatives under this allocation is the establishment of a small-scale environmental laboratory, which received an allocation of 100,000. This lab will significantly ensure our enforcement can the ministry to conduct in-house testing of water, air, and chemical parameters. Mr. Speaker, sir, we need real-time enforcement. Let me be clear, when there is an oil spill like the recent incident in the Suva Harbour from the sunken Gandhar shipping vessel, or wastewater discharge like the one of Line 1 in Sambeto, we must respond immediately, and our people expect accountability, not excuses. The current model, which relies on accredited third-party laboratories, can take up 2 weeks. That is 2 weeks too late. With our own testing facilities provided for in this budget, we can collect samples, test them, and initiate enforcement action without delay. The public expects us to act swiftly, and now we will be equipped to do just that. In addition, 448,000 under this activity is dedicated to strengthening enforcement of our Litter Act. Mr. Speaker, sir, Activity 4 covers the management of ozone-depleting substances, which receive no increase. However, it remains essential in helping Fiji to meet its obligation under the Montreal Protocol. Mr. Speaker, sir, it supports Fiji's implementation of the 13 multilateral environmental agreements we have ratified. It received an additional 214,000 this financial year. Key allocations including 75,000 for a National Resource Committee, NROC, which is an advisory committee that connects the work of the MATA from the 14 provinces with that of the Provincial Conservation Officers, PCOs, under the Ministry of Itaukei Affairs. The Matane Umbula and the PCOs play a pivotal role in ensuring that environmental and climate laws and policies are adequately enforced, implemented, and monitored. Put plainly, they are the traditional guardians of our ancestral resources. 11,500, Mr. Speaker, sir, is to support the ratification of 3 long-pending conventions: the Basel Convention, which regulates hazardous waste movement; the Rotterdam Convention, which promotes prior informed consent in chemical trade, and the Minamata Convention, which aims to control mercury pollution. Mr. Speaker, sir, ratifying this convention strengthens our legal framework, improves safeguards for public health, and aligns Fiji with the global environment standards. Finally, Program 1, we have activities 6 and 7, which account for operation of divisional offices in the north and west, as well as a dedicated project management unit. The project management unit, Mr. Speaker, sir, is created to oversee externally funded environmental and climate projects, improve coordination, enhance delivery, and ensure that every dollar entrusted to Fiji delivers the maximum impact. We are currently delivering 7.2 million USD in safeguarding marine and terrestrial biodiversity project, focusing on intervention in selected islands, including the Lau Group, Kandavu, and the Konrawe Ringgold Islands. This 5-year project is implemented in partnership with the Conservation International. In the also, we will implementation of 8.3 million USD revitalization ecosystem for sustainable agriculture and resilience project. This project will benefit about 3,500 households in the Northern Division and will be implemented in partnership with the International Fund for Agriculture Development, IFAD. This unit also administers subsidized gate fees at the Namboro landfill with 1 million allocated for this by Cabinet. Mr. Speaker, sir, Program 2 covers the work of the Department of Climate Change. For the 2025-2026 financial year, this program is allocated 1.91 million, which is an increase. The key components of this increase include 106,000 for the establishment of a carbon market unit, which will support the operationalization of the carbon market regulations, unlock climate finance, and support emissions reduction project. A further 500,000 is allocated to support the implementation of the Climate Change Act of 2021. This includes development of regulations for certain parts of the Act and finalization of the Fiji's National Climate Communication Strategy. This allocation will also enable us to mobilize finance, attract carbon investment, and regulate markets with integrity, accountability, and to the benefit of our people. This would consistently align with the tax incentive on carbon trading, where engaged in carbon trading will be exempted from income tax as announced in this budget. Mr. Speaker, sir, the leader of the opposition referred to 50 villages needing relocation this morning and cited the Human Rights Commission list of 19 additional communities. Let me clarify, there are not confirmed relocation sites. There are communities identified for assessment, not evacuation orders. Fiji treats planned relocation strictly as the last resort. Under our SOP, relocation can only proceed after all adaptation options have been exhausted and only with full community consent through a process grounded in free, prior, and informed consent. The 19 communities mentioned are a subset of 43 communities screened since 2021. Some have since shifted to other adaptation measures like seawall, backed by donors such as the Adaptation Fund. Others remain under assessment through rigorous two-tier vetting process with divisional coordination. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Fiji Task Force on Relocation and Displacement is driving this work and supporting communities that want to relocate and helping others adapt in place. We are also actively securing more funding for future relocation needs. Take Nambavatu, a relocation based on risk backed by community choice, and now in phase 2, supported by 3.5 million injection from the Community Relocation Trust Fund last 2 weeks. These are not numbers. These are families, lives, the future, and this government will continue to act based on evidence, guided by the community voice, and also with the principle of dignity and choice. Mr. Speaker, sir, building on our efforts in relocating communities, the Ministry will now focus on expediting the implementation of coastal adaptation seawall. We will work closely with the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways to identify seawall projects across coastal communities that need to be constructed urgently, including few to mention in the existing priority list, such as Butua in Nandrunga, Sese and Loa in the Konrove, Songombiau and Namama in Namuka in Maduata, Namuana in Kandau in Ra, and Nambuna in Koro. Vulnerable communities continue to lose land and homes to rising seas, coastal and river flooding. That has to end, and this government will prioritize high-risk sites, ensure financing, and ensure that every dollar invested in coastal protection reaches the front lines where the climate crisis is being felt most acutely. Speaker, sir, the Honorable Leader of the Opposition also called for greater investment in clean energy this morning. We will welcome that, but let's be clear, Fiji is already doing the work. First, through initiatives like the Fiji Rural Electrification Fund, we are bringing solar power to off-grid communities, turning commitment into action. Second, our updated national energy policy and NDCs are shaping a clear path toward clean energy aligned with our development goals. Third, we know that a transition must be just economically viable. That means securing the right technologies that is affordable, build on capacity, and making sure that this job transition needs to happen in a way that no one is left behind. So yes, the shift must happen, but this government is not waiting. We have been working closely with the ministries, and this would be reflected in our updated NDC, one that is backed by implementation plan. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change has brought together key portfolios, and this budget will further operationalize the expansion of our services and capacity. It is an investment in the future, our people, our land, and our sovereignty. This year, the Ministry has already successfully implemented 94% of its allocated budget, a clear reflection of our discipline, delivery, and alignment with the Strategic Development Plan, National Development Plan, and the broader socio-economic vision of the coalition government. Mr. Speaker, sir, the 2025-2026 budget is more than a financial blueprint. It is a bold and a people-focused plan with Fiji's future. It is built on economic discipline, social fairness, and political honesty. It responds to the pain of the cost of living. It invests in our community. It protects the most vulnerable while creating space for growth and opportunity. While others continue to debate, we deliver and continue to see momentum. For example, GDP growth of 7.5% in 2023 and 4.0 in 2024. Foreign reserves stable at 3.7 billion. Tourism, jobs, investment surging. And most importantly, families are feeling the impact with 250 million in VAT cuts and over 500 million in combined tax relief through the continued zero rating for essential items. This is proof of financial or fiscal credibility. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am proud that our ministry's priorities are embedded in this budget, from the relocation of at-risk communities to coastal protection projects and advancing cleaner waste system. We are not just responding to climate change and the environment challenges, we are reshaping Fiji's future with urgency and purpose and with political courage. This budget speaks directly to our collective vision, economic security, and inclusive development and sustainability. Just before I take my seat, Honourable Speaker, sir, we hear the rhetoric this morning from those in the opposition saying that this is an election budget. I think they are worried because they are trying to collect signatures. I think there's two proposed parties in the opposition. And the people are so happy about this, they don't want to sign in those, to support the registration of those political parties. That is an indication. And I see the urgency in the opposition. The worry in the opposition. The elections is too far away. But we can see the opposition that is disorganized and is confused. Mr. Speaker, sir, 1G1 there, 1G14 here. And Honorable VM Pillai just told me that he's going to follow. So this is a divided opposition. a confused opposition that the people cannot trust, I support and commend the 2025-2026 budget with this August. Now,